Hello, everyone, and welcome to Politically Unhinged. It's been a while, I know, but when you're working in politics, you got to put some stuff aside. Today, my guest is my very good friend, Berney Flowers. For those of you who do not know Berney, Berney is a retired lieutenant colonel of the Air Force, which means he's more badass than most of us actually watching this or participating on this. Uh, so there's that. Berney also was a congressional candidate in District 3 for Howard County in Maryland. And he is the author of Black Values Matter. Right. He's also been seen on Newsmax and Fox News. And quite frankly, he is going to be a real treat for all of you. All right. Berney, glad to have you on here.
Tony, I don't know if I can live up to that buildup you just.
Well,
I don't
it's
know.
true though.
Dude, I'm just a grumpy old soldier trying to do the right thing. You know that.
Look, I know that, but here's the thing: you're more badass than like most of us here. Like, in all honesty, you are. Look, I've never served, so you're automatically more badass than me. So
Well, if Biden has his way, you might get your opportunity.
I'll
I'm
be out of the draft in about less than a month. So
not if he has his way, but that's
I
okay.
know.
I hope we can stop this, man. There's so many crazy things going on in this world. I would not want to see you or anybody of any generation go to war. But that's another story for another time. I'm sure you got better things to talk about than that.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, this is called leading a revolution for you, which I think you actually are doing in the Republican Party. Yeah, especially here locally in Maryland, and I think it's making national headwaves what you're doing. And so you've told me that you basically got fed up with these bureaucrats, and that's why you ended up running.
God, you're gonna get me in trouble, bro. You know, we can't be having these conversations like we do when we're having barbecue. But I will say, here it is. I spent 21 years almost in the Air Force doing everything Uncle Sam told me to do, and I worked in three-letter agencies for another almost 14 years. And I finished up my time right before COVID. Well, actually during COVID, because I was Mayorkas' Secretary Mayorkas the I was his senior advisor for DOD or for Northcom to be exact. And I'll explain that later if you want me to.
Yeah.
But the issue of the day is I was in a position in government to see that it just wasn't working for the American people, and I was on the wrong side of this. And if you look up behind my head, you'll see a commission and some degrees and all that sort of stuff. But that commission says that I am bound and determined to protect this country, foreign and domestic, no matter what happens. And even after I'm retired, it's a lifelong commitment. And I just felt like things were going sideways. I needed to do something about it. So that's how me and you met a couple of years ago, you know, and we've been fighting the fight. And don't diminish your work because you are dove in. You put your whole life into this. So I'm proud and proud of you. And that's the deal. I mean, we got to get more patriots out there making things happen.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing is, Bernie, without you, I don't think there would necessarily, be me doing this stuff. You've been such a huge inspiration to help me actually lead this movement that we're going ahead and we're doing. And in all honesty, it's just like, how much further can we go? Do you like? In all honesty, I think we can take the country back. I'm not sure what you say though.
Brother, you know what I say. We talk about this all the time. We have no choice but to step up for our traditional values. And the bottom line is, yeah, we got to take the country back. And we're in a very weird state when it comes to that. I mean, the bottom line is that Maryland seems to be very, very liberal.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. But it's weird because out where you live in Western Howard County, I mean, there are a lot of very, very conservative people. People, as they say, country folks will survive. I say that because I'm one, you know. And so the issue of the day is that we just got to keep trying. Our children deserve it. Our families deserve it. If we don't, things are not going to turn out the way we want them to. And I've retired. and I've got nothing but free time on my hands to agitate the system.
Yeah. Yeah, you said that it matters for us to do this good for the children. For people that aren't really involved in the political field, how would you recommend them getting active first?
Well, first of all, pay attention to, I mean, there's news out there, there's the internet, there's the newspapers. A lot of people don't even read the newspapers. They're just out doing their own thing, thinking everything's okay. And our we are in a one-party state here.
Yeah,
And right, wrong, or indifferent, you were looking at the Democrats that are in charge. They are doing some things that I don't necessarily agree with. For example, the woke movement in the schools. They are indoctrinating our kids to hate our country.
yeah,
And this is the greatest country that has ever existed in this world. And everybody seems to be coming here, but the people who live here, especially the kids, seem to be not happy with the way things are. And guys of your generation, let's say you want to go out and buy a house. If I'm not mistaken, the interest rate is 8%.
yeah,
Something's wrong here. You look at the schools and they're doing all this woke stuff and DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it is not helping us. We're going away from the meritocracy that American people expect. And I mean, my generation, okay, I figure we'll be okay. But your generation, you're going to have to deal with all this stuff. And the folks coming up behind you are indoctrinated. And, for example, when I was raising my kids, my children are older than you, by the way.
yeah.
And but we used to put them in front of the television and let them watch Disney. Would you recommend that now? I wouldn't.
Oh no, not at all.
No, they've killed Star Wars. Lesbians in space. That's what Star Wars is. And I don't watch it anymore. A lot of people don't watch it. Where are the heroic characters that give us our national identity? There's no more Skywalker. There's no more Han Solo. All these westerns that I used to watch when I was a kid that kind of helps you determine whether how the right thing to do. Well, now the characters are doing the wrong thing, in my opinion. So I'm bouncing all over the place, but it just seems to me that our country is under attack. We've got wars and rumors of wars, and I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. The 10 million illegal aliens that came here, I worked at DHS, so I know, what was happening, and I knew it before most people did. But I wasn't in a position to scream and yell about it because I was getting a DOD paycheck. And so now here we are with these people. What are we going to do with them? Can we send them back? It's going to take a lot to do that. Maybe we should have never gotten ourselves into that problem first. But the main thing is people got to be less apathetic. Folks got to pay attention to what's going on around them because everybody wants to come here because this is a great place. And I want it to remain a great place.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Agree. I mean, you and I 100% agree on this that the number one way that we get to have a secure border is re-electing Donald Trump. And I'm not sure if you've seen Biden's newest executive order, by the way, for the border.
Please enlighten me.
Oh my gosh! So Biden passed an executive order. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and this executive order would go ahead and basically ban the people trying to get amnesty between ports of entry.
You know,
But if you're already at the border and you say, I fear for my life, guess what? You're still getting let in. And it's only going to happen with this when it's capped out at 2,500 people.
you know, I read about that and it just depressed me, to tell you the truth. But that's some of the things that I got so angry with. I mean, one of the, what I saw, this isn't classified, but while I was there, I saw, and it wasn't like I was just a regular guy. I was a DOD representative into DHS, which meant that I saw everything. And we were on a locked battle cab where only a few people could get into. So I'm not making this up. I was seeing, I got to go to their staff meetings and such. the DHS, Customs and Border Patrol, and ICE, and those people like that, they were defunding those organizations. And I'm like, how are we going? And this is before people, the average person, found out this was a plan from a long time back. And I just don't understand how we were going to protect America where you're taking away resources from the people who protect America. Also, I always tell you, 85,000 Afghans were brought here from the Afghan war. We just shut it down $1 billion a day, switched it over to Ukraine. But the bottom line is that we just can't survive this. And if I may caveat with what you said, those people are being placed in a lot of areas where there are a lot of Republicans. And what I mean by that is you put those people in a place like, I don't know, Western Pennsylvania or Tennessee, somewhere like that, they're going to dilute the Republican vote when they finally do get the ability to vote. And that is going to make things really, really rough for conservatives like us.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. Um, I tried to run for Congress to do something about it. Needless to say, I was not successful, but I am undeterred.
Now, what does your future political life look like? Have you made a decision yet?
I've made no decisions. All I'm going to do is make barbecue and sip on some bourbon. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know, man. The thing is, there's a few of us like you and the YRs and people like that, and Beth and all of our crew. But needless to say, we're never going to just give this up. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'll ever run again, but I'm certainly going to try to help those out who wish to run. I know you have some political aspirations, and if I'm in this area, I'll be able to help you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it would be great for you to run again. I mean, I
Uh,
still believe you are the number one guy for District 3 for Howard County. You're the guy that can go ahead and stop this freight train that's going on, that the left keeps on pushing in our county, in our state. It's people like you that will be able to make that change.
how about this? I'm too dumb to be scared. That's the bottom line. I don't know what will happen in the future, but I will be in the gang of rabble rousers trying to turn this country around and trying to turn Howard County and Maryland around. We got a lot of stuff that needs to be done. And there's a lot of people that are really excited, but we only had a 20%, roughly 20% turnout in our district.
Yeah,
And we got to wake these people up and help them understand that we can win. And I just don't understand why people are so apathetic, but we can't give this up. We
no,
can't. Our children are reliant upon us. They expect us to do the right thing. And I don't want to be, 10, 15 years down the road, my granddaughter saying, why didn't you fight for us? Why didn't you?
yeah,
This is how you do it. I mean, we're on your podcast, and there'll be thousands of people that are going to listen to you and hear what you have to say. And we got to get the word out. And yeah, we lost. I lost this election. A few of us were a little disappointed. You worked for Robin, and got a lot of respect for him. And but the bottom line is, we have an idea, and you can
yeah.
coalesce around an idea, and you got to keep moving forward. And that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe that you've made such big political waves, not just locally but nationally, that you could most likely try to swing some votes now for people by you endorsing someone.
Well, I don't know about all that, but if somebody needs me and they're a true conservative, they just count on me and call. Bottom line, you know how to do that. And there's other people out here. We're wondering what to do. We can't just twiddle our thumbs and let the wokesters take over. So we got some tough choices to make, and I consider myself to be a conservative, and that's pretty much how things are.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, without you, what we wouldn't see all these young people rising up. In all honesty,
Well,
uh,
I think that's more the YRs and you. I mean, you guys got a little gang out there running around doing conservative stuff. I just follow you guys around.
look, but it's also people that are older than us that are showing the way. You're paving the way. Wait, so we can go ahead and take the charge.
Tony, you give
Charge.
me way too much credit, brother. Way
Look,
too.
it's true. You could say I'm giving you way too much credit, Bernie, but you know me. I only speak the truth.
That's true. That is true. You're my kind of guy. You know, we've definitely bonded.
Yeah, like it's one of those things. You could say I'm giving you too much credit for stuff, but it's I am not going to give you way too much credit for something that you've 100% absolutely have done.
Well,
Done.
I just wish I could have won for you. Bottom line. I mean, I thought we had it in the bag. I mean, I was starting to get phone calls and emails from prominent, politicians in this area, giving us a pat on the back, 2 days before the election.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out. I am not going to throw any whatever or shade on anybody. The issue of the day is we fought a good campaign, and I feel good about it. I feel good about what we did. And let me tell you something else. This is going to be off subject. I'm sweating here like a bear because I got a jacket on, and you're in a t-shirt, man. But here's the deal: I got a root canal today. You ever had one?
Nope.
My
Never
first.
had a cavity.
No. Well, the thing is, I chipped my tooth the other day at a Republican event, and it took me 3 weeks to get into to see the dentist. But I'm running around here chewing on one side. But the bottom line is, there's not many people that I would support after I had a root canal. I should be in bed sleeping, and after a couple of sips of bourbon. But nevertheless, man, this meant a lot to me because you put in a lot of work, bro. I mean, you were doing stuff for me, you were doing stuff for Robin, you were doing stuff for the entire Republican community. I mean, I'm over in Anne Arundel County seeing you all over the place, and I'm like, dude, you ever rest? You know,
I
total.
still don't rest, even with parents getting paid now. So
Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you, I just am impressed with the entire YR movement here, and you guys have done a great job. Ray and Beth and the rest of the crew, we're all integrated and we're making things happen, and I intend to be part of it.
yeah, yeah, and you're going to be part of it for a long time.
Well, let's hope so.
I know so. You're going to be part of it. It's
Agreed.
so. I want to ask you something. Why do you think all these young men are a lot more conservative today than they've ever been in decades?
I believe that society is targeting young men in a negative way. They're not leaving you guys anything to do. I mean, I remember when I was your age, I mean, yeah, the women's movement was saying, okay, women aren't being treated well and not fairly. Okay, now we've reached a tipping point. Now men aren't being treated fairly. And, we're doing all this woke stuff and the trans movement and all that stuff. I don't understand it. But the bottom line is the traditional male is under attack. And so the guys above your age seem to be not really doing much about it. But the guys at your age and below, down to about 16, they're fired up and they are very conservative and they're Trumpsters, bottom
Yeah,
line. And so that's what I'm seeing. They're fighting for their freedom. They're fighting for their future. And forgive me, I'm sweating like a bear again. But I am happy to see it because we got to stand up. It's time to stop being pushed around. And it's time to stand up for the values that make America great. So, yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. And yes, we're in Howard County. And I still said make America great. Because the bottom line is, I see this as Biden, war and petulance. Trump, peace and prosperity. Bottom line. And so, if we want peace and prosperity, this may be our last chance to get it. And is Trump a perfect person? No, neither am I. Neither are you. But I see lawfare when I see it. And the fact is that from the day that he even declared that he was running, he's been under lawsuit after lawsuit after indictment after whatever. And nobody deserves that. This guy's standing up and taking the hits for us, and we need to get behind him. So that's what I'm trying to do.
yeah, yeah. I 100% agree. Now, you brought up the lawsuits, and the charges of Trump.
Mhm.
What's your opinion on the 34 counts?
All false, every last one of them.
Yeah,
Um, from what I understand, Okay, let's take the one about false, promoting his real estate. Every real estate agent in the world is going to raise, or better yet, uh, try to raise their property value so it looks like they're. I mean, that's their job, is to make as
Yeah.
much money as possible. And this guy built New York. He put it, not necessarily put it on the map, but he built the current skyline, you might say. And so, like I said, these are frivolous charges. And all they don't want to put him in jail. They want to say that he's a convicted felon and think that people are not going to vote for him. If I'm not mistaken, he's raised $200 million since this thing came out. And the Democrats are looking like they get egg on their face. And so that is a path that I think that they shouldn't have taken, and it's gone too far. We're now a banana republic. It's like, okay, the guy that's running against me, let's throw some charges on him. That's not how we do things in America.
Yeah.
That's not the country I want to live in. And if we're going to sit back here as Republicans and let this happen, shame on us. Shame on us.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Joe Rogan endorsed Trump.
Yeah, I did. I'm a big
Yeah.
Rogan fan. Big Rogan fan. I listen to him 2 or 3 times a week when I got time. And yeah, I noticed that. And I'm happy for that. Rogan has been a long time neutral person, and he was kind of against Trump ago. But in the last couple of years, he's starting to see the light. I think it's got something to the fact that he moved out to Texas and he's starting to see things the way they really are. And I lived in Texas, for 7 years in my last military assignment, and people are a little different out there. And actually, I think it's more akin to Western Howard County. You leave Columbia, and things start changing ideologically, and it's kind of a microcosm, you might say. It's almost like two cities. You come into Eastern Howard County, where I live. It's very, very liberal. You go out where you live, it's like, hey, that's farm country. Now, there's not that many people out there, but you guys are feeding the country. You're putting, most of these people own farms and tractors. We got to eat. You got to grow stuff, and if you don't, we all fail. So yeah, I'm very happy to see Rogan coming our way.
Yeah. I mean, Rogan, even last election, he didn't even support Trump. And what really put him over the edge was these charges.
Yeah, people
So,
are tired of it. A lot of people are seeing that this is just totally unfair.
yeah.
And forgive me, I got my ice water, sip on it all the time. There is not vodka in there. Don't you tell people there's vodka in there. That's real ice water. So yeah, man, I'm very pleased to see Rogan, and a lot of people in media are starting to turn around. What was this famous actor that I just saw just recently? But he was singing Trump's praises, and people are starting, especially and also in the black community. There's a lot of black people that are starting to see the light, and that's one of the things I was hoping to get into. If I could have gotten that nomination, I think I could have brought a lot of minorities to the table, but it didn't happen. But the issue of the day is people are tired. I mean, look at all these migrants that have come into New York and Philadelphia. I was just reading an article where I think it was in actually this was in Phoenix, and they brought a bunch of migrants in, and they took over a school. I mean, when I don't mean take over the school, the government gave these people the school to live in. But the issue of the day is the regular American citizens who live in that district, their kids couldn't go to school. They had to go back to, uh, you know, video school. So the bottom line is we're starting to suffer here. And Joe Biden and his crew of misfits are responsible for this, no matter what he says, and I will never forgive him for it.
Yeah, the Biden presidency has completely ruined this country. In all honesty, like he's beaten FDR and Jimmy Carter, like as the worst president. I don't know how he was able to accomplish it,
He's been
but
in
he
office
has.
in some form since 1971. Now I'm 58 years old. Look at this big gray spot here. I'm old. I was 6 years old when he came into office as I believe as a congressman, and he's been either a congressman or a senator or vice president or president since then. And another thing, how is it this guy makes whatever a congressman makes? Let's give it $880,000, but he's got millions of dollars in the bank, but he owns no business.
Yeah.
Hmm. Seems odd to me. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah. It's insane that our politicians, who honestly they shouldn't be making as much as they are to begin with that their salary was supposed to reflect the medium salary of the American people.
Mhm.
Well, and as you know, it was looking at it as your time to serve.
Yeah,
But these people are now they're millionaires somehow, living on a six-figure salary. Like, how is that possible?
Nancy Pelosi has been in Congress longer than you've been alive.
She's been in Congress longer than a lot of us have been alive. Like,
It's just a circus right now. But here's the point: we regular Americans have allowed it to get this way. People are apathetic; they're not ready to lead. You and I and people like us are ready to lead, and if folks would get behind us, I believe we can make some changes. But you know, we can't give up. We just got to keep fighting the good fight. That's the deal.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, I want to show you something. I want to get your opinion on this.
Talk to me.
This is from today. This is something that Joe Biden did
Oh,
at D-Day,
put me in a
at the
bad
D-Day
mood.
ceremony. I want to get your opinion. Do you think he shit himself or did he not? Like, that's what we're going to try to find out right now.
Can you say that on the air?
Yeah, I don't care.
Man, you got me crying.
So we're
Oh,
going to figure that out right now.
Joe Biden. What a mess he is.
Okay.
Awkwardly fumbling for his seat.
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin III, Secretary of the United States of America.
Did Joe Biden shit himself or not? That's the real question that we all need answered to.
You know, to me, that looks like, when a little kid, daycare age, when they walk, that's the look that they do. That's the shape that they make when they're pooping their panties. I mean, their little diapers and stuff. So I would put money on the fact that he just let out a wet one.
The media is just like, oh, Joe Biden was awkwardly like reaching down for his chair, trying to
No,
sit down again. I'm all like, no, he definitely shit himself. Like,
yeah, it's a shame that those people that run the White House are putting this senior citizen in such a bad light. I mean, I don't know. Are they just trying to embarrass our country or what? I mean, that a president is supposed to have some courage and some virility. His get up and goes doesn't get up and win. Long time ago.
no, Joe Biden lost his mind several decades ago. I think we can all agree on that. That's and the thing is, this wasn't even the other thing that he did in D-Day
Mm,
celebration. He ended up trying to fist bump someone, and he actually connected with their cheek, like actual D-Day
that
person.
ain't good. That ain't good at all. How did we get into this mess? I don't know. I got my speculations, but I shouldn't say them on the air. Next time you're over the house, we'll talk about that. You've heard me bitching before. I can't say that on the air.
I just don't care. So
Well, bottom line is we just can't give up, man. We just got to keep fighting the good fight. Even when people don't agree with us, even when people don't see things our way, if we talk to 10 people and we get one on our side and get somebody to even at least think, then I consider that to be a victory.
yeah,
And we got to keep doing it, bro.
yeah,
Over and over again.
yeah, definitely. I mean, we gotta. It's so simple that like we just have to keep on talking to people,
Yeah.
and people are just like, oh, there's no more middle ground. But the thing is that like what I've learned, even with younger people and older people, once you start talking to them,
Yeah.
they realize they just don't understand that they're more conservative than they realize.
It's funny. Last year at the Howard County Fair, you were there.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to me to see how many young people came up to our booth. And they were talking, and we were having great conversations. And I was looking down 100 yards down at the Democrat booth, and nobody was going there. And the young people were coming to us. I served, 2 or 3 stints during that week and had a good time doing it, and had some great conversations with people. And I think we turned some minds. And those people, they're the folks I was talking to, they're below 21. And some of them may have voted, some of them didn't. I don't know. But they're going to grow into voters at some point. They're going to get tired of the government taking little, if you count everything, more than 50% of their income. They're going to get tired of, Howard County hiring Zoom bus contractors where the company is in California, and they're supposed to be an electric bus and there's no electric buses. But did I strike a nerve there?
Oh, I freaking hate what's going on there. Oh my God.
We got a lot of things we need to
Oh.
fix. And the bottom line, somebody, here it is. We got bus companies up and down the East Coast. I know 2 or 3 people that own bus companies right here on the right here within driving distance of us. And why would we pick a company way out in California? It makes no sense. Why would we spend all that money on a contract? And then when they started the thing, a lot of the children weren't able to get to school on time. People seem to forget about that when school started in at the last beginning of the school year. So there was just a lot of things that didn't go the way Howard County residents wanted them to go. And there was no need for this. And, one of my pet peeves is, this thing about, okay, by 2035, you won't be able to buy anything but an electric car. Well, we don't have the infrastructure for electric cars right now. And not only that, you're taking away people's choices. We don't have the infrastructure. Electric cars are very, very heavy, so they're tearing up the road, so it's costing us more money. And just a lot of badness that goes along with that. And if somebody wants an electric car, go get your electric car, but don't mandate it. Don't tread on me. That's how I see it. So, those we don't have any lithium worth anything. I think we produce 1% of the lithium in the entire world, which means that we don't have enough lithium to manufacture our own electric cars. If this is the route we're going to go, we're going to be in a war before you know it, going off to take somebody's lithium. And I don't want to put my kids, grandkids, your kids, or anybody else in a situation where we have to go to war when we have the technology to overcome that. How come we're not using hydrogen? We should be pushing that. There are hydrogen vehicles that are available to us, but there's not that much money to be made from hydrogen vehicles. But that's another story for another time.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind though, that a guy literally made an engine that like propel his car and everything by water.
Mhm.
What did the government do? They killed him. So
We can't prove that they. We can't prove that.
right. He only had some information that could lead to Hillary Clinton's arrest, so he committed suicide.
Yeah, he shot himself in
Yeah.
the back of the head.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. So it's kind of weird like that. And we guys like have to get yourselves into the corridors of power so you can make some changes, because we got a lot of corruption out there. Let's just face it. And I look at how Silicon Valley and our government are working together, and some of the things I've seen just seemed unconstitutional to me. And we can't do anything about it from the outside. We've got to get on the inside and get young guys like you promoted. It might take 10 years, but you'll be there one day.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, I've already announced I want to be running in about a decade, so 2036, Anthony Rader for president. So
I love it. I love
yeah.
it.
So just be on the lookout for that. That announcement's already happened. You just gotta file that paperwork when it comes time.
Let's go. Nothing wrong with that, man. You got to dream big. I figure you ought to try for governor first, though.
Well, so I've already planned out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So as you know, this politically unhinged thing's going wild right now, especially on Instagram where we're live streaming it right now as well.
You're
Well,
doing, man. You're doing great. You got to teach me this stuff.
I'll be more than happy to. As soon as I get a little bit of time off, if I fly back during the day, day from Illinois, then and if we both got time, I'll sit down with you, get you
Hey, I'm on your
stuff set up.
schedule. I'm on your schedule. But yeah, man, we need to recruit some good candidates, some logical, honest people. I'm not saying that those that are in power are not honest. They just seem to be one-sided. And if you only have one party in power, eventually they're going to come up with some crazy ideas and nobody's going to be able to stop them.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. There has to be checks and balances. But right now in Maryland, we have no checks and balances. We're just one-sided. And most people don't understand why they're paying so much in taxes. They don't understand why so many retirees are leaving this area so fast. I mean, people are heading down to Florida and North Carolina and the East Coast as fast as they possibly can. And it's not just the idea that things are so expensive. They're worried about their political future.
Yeah.
And there's just a whole ball of ugly that's making people leave the state. And if we all leave, this place will be a communist utopia. And I don't think I'd make a good communist.
I know I wouldn't.
I'm having fun, man. We always have fun.
I couldn't even imagine either you or me as a communist, in all honesty.
Communist, Marxist, fascist, whatever you call it. I'm not an ist or a phobe.
Just going ahead, and they're saying like, "Oh, communism and socialism." That's what drives me crazy about the left, saying that those two things are completely different.
They're not to me.
They're not. They're literally the same thing.
They're the same thing.
Yeah.
A small percentage of the population controlling everything that everybody else does. As I remember, in the school curriculum, they don't talk about the 100 million deaths that Chairman Mao was responsible for, or the 20 million that Stalin was responsible for, or the Nazis and their however many 5 million, they killed 5 million Jews. Everywhere there's these things. Che Guevara killed a gang of people. Pol Pot killed a gang of people. Communism, these isms don't work. It always ends up with a bunch of dead people. And that is not cool. Not cool at all. And somebody needs to tell folks. And I don't see it in the school curriculums. They don't emphasize those things. All they talk about is woke and DEI and all that kind of craziness. And that's not going anywhere. All that's going to do is make people angry with one another.
Yeah. Speaking of minority rule, happy Pride Month.
You mean unhappy Pride Month?
Oh my God. I freaking Pride Month is so stupid.
Dumbest thing ever. It's fun. I was on my phone filling around and it said that very same thing, Happy Pride Month. I'm like, why can't I can't take it off the phone?
Yeah.
It's Google has got it, mandated or whatever on the phone. So it's kind of like, dude, I don't want Pride Month or anything like that, Pride Day or any of that foolishness on my phone, but I can't take it off. That's communism to me. They're forcing their ideology upon me, and I don't believe in their ideology.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's just like, how? Like, this country would be so better off if we take a month to celebrate religion over than celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins.
I would agree. You're going to find an agreement here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Craziness. And so like I said, religion, this pride thing, this DEI thing has become a religion of its own.
Yeah.
These people they will fight you. Oh, you're not being egalitarian. No, I'm being egalitarian. You got me cussing. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm proud of myself. What are you talking about?
But you know how I feel about all this DEI stuff. We're trying to destroy this country. We got what, last I checked, $36 trillion in debt. That's an unfathomable number. Yeah. And last I checked, somewhere around $200,000 per American citizen, American taxpayer, and the money's just flying out the window. And Joe Biden, he doesn't know what's going on. I don't think it's chief of staff. There's other people that are running this country, and they're trying to run us into the ground. They're, I don't know if you heard that they got a new president down in Mexico, and good on her. But from what I'm understanding, she's got some leanings towards Marxism. And you see what's going on in Canada. What we got here is a sandwich, and we're the meat in the middle of the sandwich.
Yeah.
They're going to do a North American free trade zone or something to that effect. That's what Klaus Schwab and his band of idiots want to do. And why should he have any sway over America? But that's another story for another time. We just need to be aware of the forces that are against us and be prepared to defend ourselves against them.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's at that point where we're just like, okay, we need to. Quite frankly, I think majority of this country just needs to be bitch slapped. Like, it's just gotten to that point. Like, especially like all 12 jury members on the Trump trial. Like,
that's crazy. That is the
oh,
most unfair thing I've ever seen. And I mean, I've seen some shitty stuff, but that is un-American. And
yeah.
the judge, it was a witch trial, is what it was. It was a witch trial. And when he gets to be president, he's already talking about, I'm going to shut these people down, put them all in jail, and I'm just going to be clapping. Go get them. Take them down.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that they literally changed the statute of limitations just to get Trump. And this was a misdemeanor, by the way. Wait, and if this was a felony, it would have been taking place on the federal level,
Yeah.
not the state level. So, for all you liberals that are clapping that Trump got convicted, you guys broke the law, and it's going to get overturned easily.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's nothing but a show trial.
Yeah.
But I got to give Trump credit. I mean, this guy is stuck to his guns. And yeah, okay, he's a billionaire. But I was looking at some stat just the other day, and they were listing all the presidents, and usually their wealth goes up for, while they're in office. And Trump's the only president in the last 30 years whose wealth has gone down. He doesn't have to do this.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to do this, but he's fighting for us. So much respect to him. And, just like he says, they're not after him. They're after us. That's not cool, man.
One of my followers on Instagram says Trump not having immunity makes me wonder what they could dig up on other presidents.
You can make up
So
anything
much.
you want.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. How can you mix in what he did supposedly with Stormy Daniels with all this real estate stuff? It's all these different charges, and it doesn't make any sense. But don't you remember when Clinton got in trouble he had this little girlfriend or whatever, and he paid her $800,000 to get out of it? I forget her name. She had dark hair. She was from Arkansas, a little tiny woman. But the issue of the day is, why didn't we prosecute Bill Clinton? This is totally unprecedented. This is what's happening to Trump. And if they can do it to him, they can do it to anybody.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah. I mean, you also said that this was like the biggest sham ever. Well, as you know, Hunter Biden is on trial now. And let's talk about how he might actually get away with this because of where the trial's taking place at.
Where's the trial taking place?
It's taking place in Wilmington, Delaware, where
Oh,
Trump pulled less than 10% of the vote.
mm.
And literally the day before everything happened, he was biking with his father. His father had the training wheels on, and he was wearing the 46 t-shirt.
Oh.
And a few days before that, Biden called some of the witnesses that are on the prosecution. And how is that not witness tampering, first of all?
Well, the Bidens are from all politics are local. How did they manage to get that trial there? I guess that's where he lost his laptop or whatever. But the issue of the day is sure stinks to me. And I know a lot of people from Delaware. I mean, we're not very far from Delaware. It's the next state over. And most of the people I know don't even claim Biden. They're like, they hate him just as much as we do. And so, yeah, he'll probably get away. He's got, friends in low places. How about that? But He, I think I saw a picture of his wife hiding a gun or something like that and putting it somewhere else. And I mean, to normal people, it's very clear that he is a crook and a lowlife, but he'll get away with this. Oh, by the way, now I've been to Ukraine. You know that.
Yeah.
I spent a little time over there before all this badness happened. And I know that Hunter Biden doesn't speak the Ukrainian language, doesn't speak Russian. He's not an engineer. He got kicked out of the Navy. How is it he ends up on some fancy Burisma energy board there? Seems like nobody is concerned about that. It's just
Yeah.
me. Are we the only ones that concern ourselves? He ends up on some fancy board with some Chinese company. He doesn't speak Chinese either. As I said before, he couldn't even make it as an ensign in the Navy, but yet he's getting all these lucrative contracts. So it just seems fishy, and a logical, um, patriotic American probably would not embarrass his country by doing the things he's done. But I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I just hope he ends up going to jail.
I mean, some of the jury selection but just makes me iffy about it. And just because they're literally holding it right where they live.
Yeah,
So like I honestly will not be surprised
there's no instant.
if he gets off scot-free or if there's a hung jury.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they got it all rigged. You can be sure to that. It's frustrating, but we can't give up. We can't get so mad that we just let this go. And one day, I believe that hopefully, um, they won't be able to cheat Trump to the point where he can't get elected. And then, well, you're going to have us a whole new game. I don't know about Maryland, but the rest of the states, I traveled this past weekend. I was down in North Carolina and stopped in through Virginia, and the people that I talked to are pissed off, very, very upset. And we're not the only ones. And we're just wondering, why are we letting these people get away with this? Now, I'm not talking about some kind of, we want to keep everything legal. So don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. But people need to be less apathetic and more active in what's going on. I mean, this is costing us money. This is costing us blood and treasure. And we're right on the verge of war with as I said before, Lloyd Austin, well, not long ago, said he wanted to institute a draft. The Secretary of Defense. I take that very, very seriously. That's not something to play around with. And they say, okay, yeah, we sent $100 million to the year. Yeah, it's 200 million. It was 200 million before the last iteration, but it's a big money laundering scheme. And as I said before, there's a big club, and we ain't in it, and we need to bring these dogs to heel. That's the way I see it.
Agreed.
Yeah. If I would have gotten elected, I'd have been halfway there, but that's okay. We'll get these SOBs next time. I didn't say I would run it again. No, don't you start. I'm too old.
You heard it here for. I'm joking.
I'm too
Although
old.
I'm going to pressure you as much as I can to get you to be our next executive. Just saying. Just be aware for me to try to nudge you into that direction.
Man, we're both too tired for this. Man, I'm tired of the bear. I'm sitting here like when this was over. It's like, good God, I didn't realize how tired I was. But
Look, I'll give you a few months. I'm going to nudge you after that. I'm going to get.
Lord Jesus.
I'll be your manager, so I'm going to.
Well, I might have to hold you to that, but I didn't say I was going to do anything. I'm just having fun right now and talking a bunch of crap. And but I do have concerns about our future. We're doing a lot of things that don't make a whole lot of sense for the long term, and we're spreading GMO all over the world with our crops and stuff, spraying our stuff, and we got all these crazy diseases and stuff. Half our kids are on ADHD medicine, and it's like, don't you understand, if people aren't eating natural food, they're going to start acting out, and you don't know what's going on in our food chain. And then just other things going on with her. I mean, we put fluoride in our water. Fluoride is rat poison. We've been doing it for what, 100 years.
Yeah.
That's got to be a bad thing. Oh yeah, it protects your teeth. I'd rather have a clean mind than, I'll work on my teeth. I can handle that myself.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying that I've seen a lot in my 58 years on this planet. And I know that war is the most profitable thing on the planet. I know that, Monsanto owns all our seeds now, and they are not a company that is good for the American people or anybody else. And there's a lot of other things that I've run across, and most people don't even know about. And I mean, my time in the government and being the skeptical person that I am, I'm the weird guy that reads about Monsanto. Most people have never heard of Monsanto and Bayer and IG Farben, and it goes back to World War II. These people are not here to help us, you know, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And now we're getting close to our time, folks. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get ready to wrap this stuff up. Before we get going, Berney.
Almost an hour. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's almost been an hour. Berney, where can these people find you at?
Oh, well, flowersformaryland.com, flowersformaryland at gmail.com. I got my website, just type in Berney Flowers or Flowers for Maryland. I still got my website up. I still put out my Loyal Opposition podcast. And, we're going to have you on there again real soon. So, and then, like I said, those two, and then I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn and Telegram and Truth Social and a few other ones. So you just, just type in Berney Flowers. It'll pop right up. But nothing's changed about me. I still feel the same way. Our country's under attack, and it's my job to defend it. That will not change.
Yeah. Now, this is a question that I always like to ask my guests. Who is your favorite historical person and why?
Wow, that's a big one. Can I have two?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I always say Abraham Lincoln, and I'll say, and I'd like to say Frederick Douglass. Those two are my guys. Lincoln freed the slaves, no matter what. And Frederick Douglass set an example of defiance that I will always follow. He wasn't going to just sit there and allow himself to be a slave the rest of his life. He fought and became an emancipated man and set an example for a lot of other people. So, so that's where I stand. And I've got a couple of Lincoln books up there, and I got 3 or 4 Frederick Douglass books up there I refer to when I get a little lazy and don't want to do what I need to do. I just go open up one of those Frederick Douglass books and realize what those people had to do back in those days. Or maybe I go up to the Gettysburg battleground and think about all those dead boys up there, and it just reminds me of what can happen if we don't get our shit together.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you guys have any questions before I read off our historical quote and end this off? Give you guys a few more minutes, and then we're going to end off the podcast. So while we're waiting, though, you've probably heard me say it a million times who my historical figure is over and over again. And the thing is that they've proven that King Arthur was a real person.
Yes.
So King Arthur 100%, because he did so many great things that the dude was one of the first conservatives ever. Let's be honest. As you know, my favorite president ever, James Madison, wrote the Constitution. That's all I need to say.
There you go. Hey. Most people have never read the Constitution, by the way, but that's another story for another time. We need to drill that into our children's heads, then let them know, what this country is all about. And I'm a constitutionalist, so there we go.
Yep, I 100% agree. All right, guys, go read off this historical quote, and then we'll see you later. So, let's get this up here.
By the way, thanks for having me, bro.
Oh yeah, anytime. Definitely want to have you on again. Someone just left us a comment. Honestly, I'd love to know what y'all think about Thomas Jefferson's thought that the Tree of Liberty must be refreshed from time to time.
He's right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I hope we're not living in that time when, we have to refresh that tree.
Yeah, I mean, he is right. I mean, I think the actual quote is that the tree of liberty needs to be watered with blood,
The
but
blood of tyrants,
replenished. Yeah,
something to that effect.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We live in some odd times right now, and I see some crazy stuff going on, man. And I just know that we have something good here, and anything good has to be protected.
yep. Now, I like this historical club I'm going to share with you guys right now because I think it pretty much sums up this entire podcast that we've been doing right now. So, this is by Edmund Burke. Those who don't know history are destined to repeat it.
Love it.
Those who don't know history are destined to repeat it. All right, Berney. Thank you once again for coming on. Can't wait to have you back on again. And thank you all, and God bless.
Keep up the fight.